Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Legends video. So basically we're going to take a look at the Zenkai Awakening for the Yellow Legends Limited Super Saiyan 4 Goku character. So we're going to take a look at his Zenkai Awakening and we're going to see just how good he is in DB Legends. So basically I think a lot of people have been looking forward to this. And I think this is actually one of the better kind of Zenkai Awakenings. I think it's really, really good. If we take a look at him overall, obviously they gain a little stat boost from their Zenkai Awakenings, but really it's the change in skills. So we take a look at his abilities, his Dragon Fist Surge, not too much changes in terms of like anything here really. If we're being entirely honest, he gains very marginal effects to his ultimate ability. It does, gain like some effects upon activation, which is good, but nothing too crazy here. I think they didn't feel like changing this ability too much, and to be honest, it does make sense. It was already a very strong ultimate, so to change it feels a little bit unnecessary, at least from my perspective. If you take a look at his special skill, previously also not too many changes there. Overall on his special skill, I think, again, not something that needed a massive kind of overhaul. Not something that needed you to really kind of look and change and really get into like how much different it is. If we're being honest, it is literally pretty much exactly the same. So nothing too crazy there. Just the nice plus 30% to special damage, which I think is pretty good, if I can be entirely honest. So that was pretty nice, but again, nothing too crazy. The first couple abilities didn't really gain like a huge change, and the same with his main ability. Again, just nothing too crazy. All literally remained exactly the same, all fairly straightforward. Now the special skill, the special move, did get a slight change. So basically he got plus 30% instead of, or plus 20%, which is standard, and the substitution counters remain the same. But he's also got a whole bunch of different abilities now, which does increase on hit, so it reduces enemy ki, restores its own vanishing gauge. All of this is very good. Inflicts the enemy with forced switching, also nullifies unfavorable element factors. All of this is really nice, which I think is really good. Obviously the enforced switching was there before, but I think the key reduction, the vanishing gauge increase is all super duper nice. So that's definitely a big push onwards. Obviously, as before, same Z abilities, but Zenkai abilities is Yellow and Saiyan, which I actually think is really good, because it makes him a little bit more diverse. So he's a unit you can look to place as leader on a lot of teams, and his abilities will apply to those units, which I think is really, really solid. So I think Yellow and Saiyan is nice for him. Unique ability wise, not too many kind of like straight up changes in terms of unique abilities. The first two have pretty much remained stock standard. If we're gonna speak about anything, they've essentially remained the same. Not too much of a change to the first two. Very much minimal difference, if anything at all, and they didn't need to change. The first two abilities are great, and he doesn't need any real buffs or alterations to his first two abilities. They generally are just really, really good and very powerful, so you don't really kind of want to change them too much because he didn't really need them. One nice thing is he does receive kind of a buff to his cover change, which I think is really, really good, depending on what your team build is. So if you have GT characters, then he will gain special cover change. If there are two GT battle members, which I think is good, helps him on the GT team. And then he also will apply attribute upgrade, shorten substitution count to self if there are 2 GT or 2 Son family battle members, which again is pretty good. So a nice buff there, of course, really nice. And then he's got 2 new abilities. So one is Blazing Hot Battle. If there's a defeated battle member, basically he will gain increased art cards draw speed, -3 to strike and art cards costs, and he'll also nullify the enemy's special actions. And he's got Wiping Out Injustice, which will apply the following effects to the enemy when their character enters, or when he enters the battlefield, which is pretty good. Again, key reduction, attribute downgrades to them, and essentially he will also apply some buffs to himself if there are 3 battle members remaining. So he gets some buffs if your team starts dying, and he gets some buffs if he enters the battlefield and there's not too many characters lost, which is nice. It kind of balances them out throughout the whole fight, so I think that's really, really good. How you can get a Zenkai power is pretty straightforward. Obviously the missions, where you can get 4,000 of them, the battle gauntlet where you can get 3,000. Then you can summon for a Zenkai awakening power if you want to, and he's also got you can also grab it from the Ultra Space Time Rush section, of course, of the shop, if at some point you want to grab him after the period ends. He'll only be added at the next Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush after the period ends, so you're not going to be able to get his Zenkai power now. You can't go to the shop now and get it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think his Zenkai is actually really good. The change to his special skill is really good. The additional buffs that he gets from his unique parts of his passive is also really good. I think, really nice balance overall with this Zenkai. And I think he wasn't a unit that distinctly maybe needed one. He's not really in what I would consider the top tier of units. So it's interesting that they've given him a Zenkai already, but obviously a lot of people are expecting the Legends Fest to be GT orientated. I wouldn't be surprised at giving him a Zenkai to kind of really aid the new GT unit, and I wouldn't be surprised if that unit is a Yellow Saiyan as well. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Obviously the Battle Gauntlet is going to be one of the ways where you can pick up his power, so I'll do a video on where you can get that and obviously how you can get that going forward. But yeah, one of the ways to get his power, you get 3,000 from here, and you get 4,000 from the missions. Obviously, you only start really getting a lot of the Zenkai power from the later stages, as well as the Chrono Crystals. But yeah, still pretty nice way, to earn the rewards. They recently buffed it as well, so you can now skip up to stage 79, which I think is pretty fair. It's pretty, it's nice to see a change to 79. I think it helps to alleviate some of the pain, but still, doesn't really help at all overall. But yeah, nice stuff. Missions also good. All of it really, really solid. More than happy with it. Most of the missions pretty straightforward, as you guys know. Carrying characters, doing hyperdimensional co-op, all kind of like the stock standard things that you need to do. Nothing too crazy. Realistically, super simple. And yeah, that's pretty much it on how to get a Zenkai power. Obviously the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush in future, and yeah, that's basically it. And then when we look at the units that we can get, or the units that are buffed, I should say, by his Zenkai skill. So obviously, again, he leads GT and the Son family, so there's not a lot of actual Saiyan yellows that exist in GT Son family that aren't him. But there's some very noticeable Yellow Saiyans. Bardock is one who recently got his Platinum equip. Then there is ultra rare Super Saiyan Blue Goku, still one of the top tier units, in the game. Then you have, of course, ultra rare Vegeta, who's also a very nice unit that could have some good synergy with Goku, both of them being very strong units. And then of course we also have Legends Limited Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. So you've got a pretty nice collection of Yellow Saiyans that do benefit from Gogeta's skill. So you should be able to put together a pretty nice team and be able to take a pretty good look at, kind of running all of these units. I think overall it's actually a pretty interesting situation. So yeah, but actually a really nice Zenkai skill. Really nice Zenkai, and I think he's going to be really good. I don't have him at 7-star, so I won't be able to do a Zenkai showcase. But yeah, good luck, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.